10 seconds remaining.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to GESC Thailand's NA qualifiers. We've got complexity, we've got OpTic gaming, and this is going to be game 2. Loser is out. Winner faces VGJ Storm in a best of 5. Thankfully not today. It's going to be tomorrow, but still it's going to be tough for whoever wins this match. OpTic did endure the push from complexity from game 1, and maybe they just have complexity's number. Since the complexity shuffle, they have, it feels like almost exclusively, kind of run these strats. They've just been going for these really aggressive timing pushes, and it's been working out to a decent degree. I mean, this is the, I guess the penultimate match, so they've been winning a bit. I don't know what's been going on with complexity in their matches in other tournaments, but maybe it's time to bust out something a little bit different. The Coddle pick from OpTic just stopped complexity cold. They did not have an offlaner who would be going for a pipe in order to facilitate pushes. Like, if they had a centaur, obviously the game would look a lot different, but like a hero that had a pipe, a hero that would actually let them force those structures, then they could actually get away with their plan. But seeing as though they just didn't have that, they were kind of forced to just sit back and wait for some picks. Most of the time, OpTic were ready for them, especially once that Aghanim Scepter comes up on the Keeper of the Light. Defending high ground is so easy from just that one support hero, not to mention the fact that everyone else they have their own threats at defending that high ground. Of course, that Chronosphere is an absolutely huge threat. You have this Crypt Swarm in order to thin out those creep waves even further. You have just so many answers. And now for OpTic, they're going to get their hands on Tiny. The Chen is going to be banned out. Though complexity did just play it themselves, that is something that OpTic play just as much, if not more, than complexity. So for sure, an understandable switch up there. Supports, Ancient Apparition still is in the pool, but Rubik and Witch Doctor both taken out here by the OpTic side. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see complexity first pick that Ancient Apparition. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, if Kitchak wants to play the Disruptor once again. Really good tools at answering that Tiny. Maybe not as much so damage-wise, but all the Disruptor's control styles, they match really well up against the Tiny, because status resistance just doesn't do anything up against the Disruptor. They'll take a Venomancer first pick instead, along with that AA. So just massive magic damage from the complexity side, so AA, I don't think that's any surprise to anyone. The Venomancer first pick is something that they've been doing to a decent degree of success. I think most of the time from complexity we've seen Limp play this. I think it's actually almost exclusively Limp playing the Venomancer in the mid lane. So OpTic should know that that's coming towards them. Again, this is just overwhelming magical damage, and even though there is like damage over time, the damage style of magic versus tiny dots matches up really well for complexity. If they have any way of keeping OpTic in the middle of these fights, then they can just kind of steamroll every single fight that they're in. But currently, complexity, they don't have any control. They have a couple of slows here and there. Definitely need some hardcore stuns to really make this matchup work. And for OpTic, they're going to say, screw you guys, we're not going to deal with that. We're going to ignore what you're doing over there with that team fight brewing, and we're just going to go for Nature's Prophet, who, OpTic, they have played as a support in the past. There is a chance for a Pycat Tiny 33 Nature's Prophet, but I would say Zai Nature's Prophet and 33 Tiny is a little bit more likely. And for complexity, that's not something that Venomancer really wants to deal with. Venomancer's a really slow, grindy hero. He's going to slowly push your wave in and eventually get to your tower, killing off every single creep wave along the way. It's not like a bad way of pushing, but it's something that he can't really... it doesn't match up well up against the Nature's Prophet style of play, where he just says, okay, you can slowly push my wave. I'm going to quickly push your other 2 lanes, and you're going to have to come back, or we race, in which case I win. So, really like this pick from OpTic. No huge synergy between Nature's Prophet and Tiny. I guess you could just get a lot of pickoffs. 33 very frequently does go for just like pure initiation. Hell, let's be honest, Tinys usually go just for pure initiation, so getting that initiation style with a Nature's Prophet, you don't even need to TP in most of the time. You just throw that Wrath of Nature, add a little bit of a nuke into it, and usually you're going to be getting those kills, especially since Ancient Apparition and Venomancer aren't exactly known to be tanky. So will complexity stick with this game plan? Mu is going to have his Underlord banned out. I wonder if Beastmaster is going to be taken out as well. That Hawk with the Ancient Apparition is really powerful.
5 seconds remaining.
And Mu does play that a lot. He also plays the Underlord a lot, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. It kind of seems like complexity are going to be going for a very similar type of strategy as in the last game, with a whole bunch of different heroes, but kind of the same end goal. On the OpTic side of things, PL, Lifestealer, both going to be taken out. PyCat definitely getting a little bit of respect here, but we saw even in the last game, not really like the perfect Faceless Void game. Still was able to get a hell of a lot of farm and really dodge the fights, at least dodge fights that he needed to dodge. A BKB carrier or magic immunity for OpTic is going to be very important up against these two magic-based heroes. Complexity will get even more magic damage with their Earth Spirit. So Earth Spirit AA, classic combination. One of the better heroes at handling a Nature's Prophet, though it is, I think, kind of a pickup because they can't get the Sand King, which Complexity would rather have if given the choice. But that's, of course, banned out, so not viable. OpTic should be just looking for their supporting crew. Again, I'm assuming this is going to be a support Nature's Prophet. We've seen quite a few teams, at least in the NA qualifiers here, experiment with that, and it's been working out pretty darn well. They could just... Bane's not incredible here, actually. It's not really an easy way to stick in those fights. Maybe not going to go for something like that. Getting a Static Storm from a Disruptor seems pretty powerful from the OpTic gaming side. They can go for a Dazzle, actually. That seems... It's something that OpTic did do against Storm, and they lost with. But Dazzle Nature's Prophet, the Weave isn't going to be incredible, but the Sustain definitely will be. It definitely got some potential here. Along the same lines, Oracle, like, as far as a defensive hero is concerned, like, you get that straight magic immunity with that Edict. It seems like a pretty powerful option for OpTic. And again, they've shown themselves to be willing to pick up these kind of weirder support heroes, these less common support heroes. And kind of, even in like less than perfect scenarios, just go with it. Now, they get the Disruptor. The difference between Disruptor and Dazzle Oracle is that Disruptor plays defensively by stopping the enemies from getting their offense out, as opposed to the Oracle and the Dazzle who play defensively after the spells have been cast. They will, after the fact, get the health up and get the survivability up. So this is going to be OpTic saying that we're going to still be assertive. They do have the Nature's Prophet, and I assume at some point in this game, a Shadow Blade Tiny. So Disruptor will not really struggle too much with his vision range. Maybe we'll be bullied quite a bit here. With an Earth Spirit on your ass and a Venomancer slow is a little bit difficult to manage yourself early on, as Complexity will have a very, very devastating first 10 minutes of the game with this opening. Tiny Nature's Prophet aren't slouches. Definitely good at trading hits. But once shit hits the fan, Complexity should be crashing in just a little bit harder than OpTic. And especially now that they have a Sven, so will be the pretty classic, just straight counter to the Nature's Prophet. Together with the Earth Spirit, they do have, now a couple of stuns, being able to keep the enemies in so that the Venomancer and Ancient Apparition damage can actually do something. So you got Sven, Earth Spirit, AA, a rock-solid combo, but then OpTic pick up the Abaddon, so that's the defensive hero that I'm looking for right there. So it looks like it might just be a... Well, I don't think CCNC plays Tiny. I don't think I've seen him play that. The 33 Abaddon, PyCat, Tiny. Now looking for a CCNC hero. The Abaddon is certainly very powerful here, but Complexity with their lane setup is so deadly. Like even a hero like Abaddon, who usually is going to be fine up against this this type of aggressive style, is definitely a viable kill. Nature's Prophet is really a powerful hero in poking at the lane, but versus an Earth Spirit, versus a Sven, heroes that can just kind of ignore those treants, go straight on top of the heroes, means that Nature's Prophet lane control is going to be lackluster. Does Nature's Prophet only have 4 fingers? You guys seeing that? They all have. No, Sven has a lot of fingers. Sven has the proper amount. Is there like some lore thing going on here? What's going on? What is happening? Maybe, I guess they're just not human. They're orc-looking disruptors. Orky, I guess. Or is that racist? It probably is. Not all orcs, guys. Not all orcs. But Complexity should just be looking for their Mu hero, I would expect. Again, Beastmaster's looking really, really nice for them if they want to stick to their guns, stick to what has been working in the past. I could also see something like a Nyx Assassin doing decently here. Maybe not going to get any like huge mana burn value or anything like that, but actually Puck. Puck seems incredible here for complexity as well. Moo Puck. Again, just some way of keeping the enemies in a certain area is really all they should be looking to do.
5 seconds remaining.
Or just get even harder initiation, which is, of course, going to kind of do the same thing. On the OpTic side of things, Juggernaut will be banned from them. Maybe CCNC does play Tiny. I don't think I've seen him play, like, anything but Viper and DP. Like, at all. Did he play anything else? I think he played one Sniper. Maybe he did that. I can't quite remember. But, yeah. The Abaddon and Tiny, definitely an interesting lane setup. But, yeah, I think the Abaddon is definitely worth the pick. And obviously at this point, it's too late to reconsider your Tiny. OpTic don't have much time here, so PPD's got to bust out something. And he is going to make his decision. Who is that? It's a Weaver. That is risky. Weaver is not in a situation where he's going to be playing up against no control. For sure, there is control and a half from complexity. Earth Spirit, fantastic at that. The burst damage for complexity might be enough with that Sven. If you're able to jump in onto the Weaver, land that Boulder Smash, Stormhammer, you can definitely kill him off. But the advantages of Weaver is that the dots on the complexity side won't really affect him all that badly. You'll have the Abaddon to purge at least some of them off, and now complexity are going to grab that DK for, probably for Moo, actually. I still would expect a Limp Venomancer Moo DK for that offlane, and it looks like it might be that. But PPD Disruptor, Zai Nature's Prophet, it will be a CCNC Tiny up against that Venomancer. Can't really expect that much help as CCNC ever, especially when your support is going to be coming from a Disruptor or Nature's Prophet. If you do rotate in with the Disruptor, you can teleport in with Nature's Prophet, and Tiny can put a lot of damage onto a Venomancer, but getting into situations where that's actually viable is really, really difficult, because Venomancer's just going to be grinding down your lane. Again, just picking up those points in the wards, and Tiny has really no way of dealing with that. He's 0 base armor, so those Plague Wards usually don't really have relevant damage output versus heroes unless they're like stacked up to like a 4-5 stack. Just a single couple hits on Tiny, and the damage definitely adds up. So that's looking like an ironclad mid lane there for complexity. They now have a lot of physical durability with this DK and the Sven. Venomancer, he's like kind of more so on the softer end, but he's able and willing to pick up these extra defensive items. It does seem like this is, I don't know, an awkward setup for OpTic. Hero matchup-wise, it's not terrible. It's just the fact that they do have a lot of reliance on the Tiny and the Weaver to do damage when the Tiny and Weaver, at least in lane, are going to be running into pretty sour matchups. The Tiny especially is going to have a difficult time, I would expect. And if they had a different support hero cast other than Disruptor Nature's Prophet, I would say this could probably be a lot better, but if CCNC does in fact go towards mid lane, he's really not going to get that much help. Pycat's going to start scuttling over towards the top lane, and 33 probably will be going towards, well, he does have what looks like a mid lane build. Well, let's take a quick beat, and we'll pause there and see what the lanes are actually going to look like for the OpTic gaming side. I expect for complexity it's just going to be your pretty standard stuff, Moo off lane, Chessie. He's going to be playing that Sven, probably Limp mid, and that's about it. Treant is going to bump into a couple of smoked up targets. They're going in pretty deep. Unfortunately, it looks like they're not quite running in the right angle. You don't want to mess with the Ancient Apparition level 1. It is going to be a swap, it looks like. Yeah, and this does look like a little more of a mid Abaddon. He's got a lot of regeneration on him. 5 tangos. Mid Abaddon safe lane Tiny with CCNC with 33 playing mid. Okay, that's going to be a little bit better. And again, that weakness of Pycat just Shikuchi all the way out to place the Zobs, that's kind of cool. The weakness of Tiny versus Venomancer is that he's not getting any help. The Abaddon still won't get any help if he is going to go towards that lane. But he should be able to manage himself just a little bit better because he doesn't really need as much as the Tiny. What is going on with these lanes? Okay, no, Pycat is going bottom. CNC is going top. And, okay, yeah, that makes a little more sense. So the Weaver on this bottom lane is going to be going up against one too many heroes to be comfortable. But it's a Weaver. Killing him off is always very difficult. In the meantime, CNC, the all of a sudden off lane hero for OpTic, is going to be going into a really nice matchup against the DK, where he will have just overwhelming base damage advantage. And again, it's been because there's a tri-lane on this bottom lane, Tiny can expect that to be a little bit of an island, and CNC is used to that. And in this matchup, he should be winning it. Or at least not losing it. Yeah, he should be doing just fine. On this bottom lane, though, this is where Zai is a very, very risky hero. Kitrak's already pretty banged up here, but they're going to get the hammer onto the Nature's Prophet. Zai is going to try to race for first blood, is going to fail, however. Die and then get the kill on Kitrak. Pycat does have another Shikuchi here, though, taking quite a beating. Chessie gets tagged with that Shikuchi, and Pycat will retreat. Yeah, but this is a very delicate lane here for Zai. In long, drawn-out lanes of periods of passivity, then Nature's Prophet here is king, because he's able to do stuff like that. Walk these Treants in, get some free chip damage, not a lot of damage, just a little bit here and there, and use these Treants to kill off friendly creeps. Get those denies, if necessary, get the CS. Once they decide to fight complexity, once they decide to roll in, then Nature's Prophet becomes kind of a useless hero and isn't really able to do all that much. So right now for OpTic, the name of the game here is trying to avoid real engagements by getting more effective chip damage out onto complexity. Very, very difficult to make sure that sticks. And in the meantime, over in the mid lane, 33 is going to be going up against this Venomancer. Again, this Baden is going to be doing just fine. He should be getting a decent amount out of this lane, though will not be able to apply any significant pressure to Limp. They're going to go in with Pycat a little bit too far. He did not expect this Sentry to be here. And Shikuchi's all well and good, but level 1 Shikuchi has a very, very long cooldown. At least as far as Shikuchi's cooldown are concerned. It feels like forever. So a little bit of surprise there for Pycat in that Sentry ward. See, over in the mid lane, everyone is going to be CSing freely. The Sven, though, only 2 CS to his name. Pycat, though he did go down, is in a situation where he's probably going to be a little bit more in a safer spot. Oh, the Abaddon does have a shield, and I think that will get him out of there. Juan charges into shield. What build does Venomancer have right now? 2 Sting, 1 Gale. They do catch Chessie in the field with the bugs on him and the Thunderstrike. That's a lot of damage over time, but not quite enough to get that kill, as they will actually kill off 33 in the end. Okay, Poison Sting did the deal. This does a lot of damage, guys. This does a lot of damage. It's slow, but the shield was weakened beforehand, so it looks like it was just enough. Gonna load out with more Tangos. The thing is with the Abaddon here is that if he dies a handful of times against the Venomancer, up against the gank, that's fine, man. Abaddon is okay with that. Tiny is not okay with that if he's the one to die. And Tiny is, as you can see, doing just fine in this top lane. Getting quite a lot of that tree grab, and again, we'll need a little bit of regeneration. As I expect the DK is going to be going, for the Soul Ring. So he's going to be taking those Breathe Fires, and that does hurt a lot over time. Plus makes your last hitting and general damage output kind of miserable. It's like 25% damage reduction. Yeah, that's a lot of minus damage on a Tiny. But overall, I would say the other 2 lanes here for OpTic are working out quite well. They're going to get the initiation onto the Weaver. Shikuchi movement speed is going to get Pycat out to safety, however. Zai, you can see, is taking an absolute beating in the meantime, as Warcry is going to start to fade. And Zai's doing a lot of damage to Z-Freak with that Orb of Venom, or the Corruption Orb. They will go on to Chessie and get the kill before that hammer can come out. Blightstone. Why do I still call it Orb of Corruption? God damn you, Warcraft 3, you've ruined my brain. Is it even called Corruption? It is called Corruption, so there you go, I'm right after all. Yeah, but trying to go for a Pycat in that situation, you gotta insta-kill him. Or, you know, mostly insta-kill him. And we can see that Nature's Prophet, once there are heroes on top of him, he's really just in a position where he has to race for damage, and he does do a lot of damage because of that Blightstone. A little bit more minus armor thanks to the Swarm. They just have to wait out that Warcry, however. Once that goes down, then the damage kind of flows freely from this bottom lane. I gotta say, I like this adaptation quite a bit from from OpTic. These lanes for complexity were going to look like this pretty much no matter what. And they are doing still really well on Mu. Limp is having like the freest Venomancer game of all time. We'll see what build he wants to go for. If I recall correctly, he went for Veil, Blink, Ags, and the last time we saw Limp play. He even went for the Poison Nova Duration talent. Definitely have a lot of options when you're in a Venomancer lane where there's absolutely no resistance. They're going to get the initiation off onto the Disruptor. Puts up the field, but he is down. You can see Thunderstrike is leveled up to 2 at this point, so just going for the damage value, but complexity, they are able to freely initiate on a hero that really doesn't have any means of defending himself. Just an easy, easy kill. Somewhat of a concern, though, is the fact that Chessie, though he is getting these kills for the team, 2 for himself, it's not bad. He's not getting any CS, and they're not stopping the Weaver from farming. So this lane for complexity is becoming more and more of a lane where they have to rely on getting kills. And to some extent, they're going to be bound by mana, but that's not really too much of an issue. The extent is, who do we kill? Because they have to have really deep observer coverage for Pycat. He's leveling up the Shikuchi. He's getting to that level 6 mark closer and closer. Zai's in a very, very bad spot, but they don't actually see him. Okay, now they do see him. Can they do anything about this? No, Nature's Prophet in the woods. And you trying to kill Nature's Prophet on his own turf? You can't do that, man. So this Sven is going to need to pick up some farm. He's only level 3 at this stage. That is not where he wants to be. PPD has rotated out. The Disruptor, I don't really know what he can do in this mid lane. Sting is maxed out at this stage. Just look at that damage. These things apply freaking Poison Sting also. It's so much dot. And Disruptor, I mean, he really wants to be playing over here, but it's clearly not a safe place to be. I don't know if he can go for Mu either. Maybe CCNC actually has decent levels in the nuking abilities. In this lane scenario where you're both on an island, though, for sure Tree Grab is going to be the most cost-effective tool, mana-wise. Means that he kind of has to stay on an island up until the point where his Toss and Avalanche are leveled up a little bit more. Until that happens, there's really no point in anyone going up towards that top lane. PPD is in the wrong neighborhood. Can't TP yet, and now he can't TP at all. He's actually going to get frozen in place. Easy kill. Yeah, he just wanted to place an obs to keep track of this, mostly. And, I mean, I guess he was able to pull out a sentry. But this is how the Sven gets back into it. Not really with the most CS. He'll have an Ancient stack to fall back on, and that's just something that Pycat will never really be able to do. Mu versus CCNC on top lane. You do have to keep in mind Nature's Prophet is in play here, so Mu may feel comfortable going for it right now, but at a certain point, there are going to be defensive rotations just from that one hero. Chessie. There is a Sprout here, but Sven does have that Quelling Blade. Although the body blocks from the Treants with the Warcry movement speed, he will slip right around them. You can see though, just with a handful of right clicks in the Swarm, Sven got messed up and is now off the creep wave. Even though Chessie's not having a great game, Limp is just crushing it, man. As expected, 33 is not really getting all that much. But his lane now is going to be punished by this slow grind. He does not have any range nor any ability to kill off these Plague Wards in any meaningful fashion. And they're maxed out along with the Sting. So Limp, if he wants to, can just make this mid lane his home. Kind of put up a gigantic nest of wards right here with a couple off to the sides to keep him safe. And then just keep on pushing this wave out. Alternatively, go and actually use this damage to go kill people. Either way, I don't think OpTic will have many answers to this Venomancer unless Venomancer goes in alone into a really bad spot. Which is possible. Limp might suddenly become like a really terrible player and just do that. But I don't think it's very likely. This is an absolute terrifying Venomancer game. Having no good hero matchup against him is really going to cost OpTic here. And that's kind of weird because Venomancer was picked up so early. Like, you would expect OpTic at that point to be like, okay, it's going to be a Limp Venomancer in the mid lane. We're going to pick up this generic mid lane hero and get this support hero to really sit on that Venomancer. 2v1 him and make sure he's not going to get much done. I kind of just accepted that Venomancer was going to be winning that wave. And now the roll in towards CCNC, though he does have the grow. The status resistance is going to unleash him from that. He will be just fine. Weaver and Sven just farming happily on this bottom lane until Zai comes in. Chessie TP's out. Cannot touch him there. In fact, there aren't really many heroes on OpTic that can do anything about that. They will have CCNC go for that Blink Dagger, though. And Moo is going to find himself a Nature's Prophet. Lands the Dragon Tail, and with the Power Treads doing some sizable damage, though. 33 is there to get Zai a little bit of space. Highcat is going to look to cut Moo off. Treants now completely blocking off this Dragon. He will find a way to slip through, but the Treants are actually going to slide in front again. Dragon Tail goes off onto Highcat. Shield goes off, and will get rid of that stun. But now Highcat's overcommitted. Needs to time-lapse. Can't get it out. And gets jebaited by promises of DK kills. Weaver at this point does not do a lot of damage. Shikuchi is pretty much his only offensive tool there. And with Power Treads and Ring of Aquila, I mean, it's a decent amount of damage overall, but not up against a Warcry Dragon Knight. You need a lot more damage than just a Weaver. So compLexity are able to make that rotation out, get Moo involved, and he's almost out of Blink Dagger of his own. In fact, very close to it. CCNC is going to have quite a significant impact with the Blink Dagger of his own. Zai will teleport into Kit Track, get frozen into place. They still will kill off that AA, but Zai will be the trade. Kind of an even one there. Zai gets the kill, and I guess Limp comes in and gets it. It's not my internet. It's the connection with this restreaming service, I think. Or with Twitch, or whatever. I mean, I guess that at that point, it is my internet. They'll try to go for Moo, losing CCNC as he was pretty much pushing by himself, but there's no chance that Moo's going to get out of here. There's way too much shit in the area. He has no TP either. No chance for a Blink Dagger. Going to get chased down and dropped.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But I'm not really sure what CCNC was doing over there. Again, he's the hero with the most farm on the team. Cannot really afford to just throw his life away like that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The thing is with the internet is that it's working fine. I can open up another stream and watch that perfectly. My upload and download is untouched, but for some reason my connection to Twitch just decides to stop from time to time, and there's no pattern to it at all. Literally not changing anything, just casting dotes. They're going to jump in towards Z-Freak. Does have a rollout. He's going to get glimpsed back, though. I think the Thunderstrike just would have killed him off, even if he did get out. Please, internet, work. Please work for me. If it doesn't, I don't know what to do. There's literally nothing I can do right now. Or ever, really, because there's no pattern to it. Internet problems, man. Internet problems showing up mid-game. Gotta love them. And yeah. God, I don't know what's happening. I don't know, guys. I can't do anything about this. Moo. Gonna jump right on top of the Disruptor with Z-Freak coming on in and Kit Track arriving as well. PPD is gonna get dropped. God, is there like a... This is so stupid. Whatever. This caster is Russian agent. Dude, if I was a Russian agent, wouldn't my internet be really good? Because they would want me to be in communication the entire time. Static Storm drops onto the DK, and he is kind of surrounded. Kit Track is being dropped by Highcat in the background as they will just gang up on the DK. Limp is still in the mid lane, though, and this Venomancer is getting really, really fat.
The seeds of fortune.
You need more than 500 kilobytes per second to stream Dota, apparently. Even though before it was at like 4.5K. Something like that. Well, you guys just have to kind of deal with it, because I can't do anything about it right now. Like, in 30 minutes, it'll be fine. Not really helpful to us now, though, is it? Disruptor's gonna get jacked up. And PPD, yeah, he's gonna try his best. His Magnetize still on him. That's just gonna kill him off. Just trying to buy a little bit of space here. I mean, they are looking for a Radiance onto the Abaddon. Is he at it? He is at it, actually. Just grab a couple clarities from the base. CCNC has had the Blink Dagger into a Shadow Blade, so he's starting to get there. Problem being is that he's picked up this Blink Dagger to do very little with it so far. OpTic have been able to find a couple of kills from time to time, but it has seemed like CCNC has not really had an impact in this game. It's mostly been the Nature's Prophet along with that Weaver, who at this point Maelstrom into a Lincoln Sphere. And he's building up some serious threat here, PyCat, but he's just not quite at that point where he's able to effectively and quickly assassinate the heroes in the backline and then focus on to the more durable heroes. Like, Sven is really fat at this stage, like 4 points in the Warcry. Once you pop that, even though Weaver has magic damage, even though Weaver has minus armor, you don't really touch the Sven, nor anyone else who has the Warcry on him. Dude, if I knew how to fix my internet right now, don't you think I would be doing it? Swear, Twitch chat is very reasonable sometimes. You guys can see what's happening. Trying to do something in the background. That doesn't work. Alright, guys. I officially cannot change anything else. I officially am tapped out of ideas. So, the internet will fix itself, because that's what it always does. It just, like, stops working for 30 minutes, and then it starts working again.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ice Blast over in the mid lane. Moo's gonna jump in as well. They've caught an angle onto the Weaver. Time Lapse gonna get him a little bit of extra HP here. As Roshan's starting to drop lower and lower, they do have the Radiance at the front line, doing quite a bit of damage, but the Roshan is still alive right now. From the back line, PPD is trying to give 33 a little bit of aid, and he will be able to get him to safety, but right into the Roche pit. 33 is fine, but Chessie's gonna be able to swoop in and take the Aegis, and PyCat's got like 10 HP. Will Shrine up, and he can't continue this fight, though. He's gonna get Dragon Tail before the Shukuchi comes up and just drops by the Dragon Breath, and now the Disruptor's gonna get caught as well. It's a full wipe, as the OpTic side try perhaps a little bit too aggressively to take that Roche, and compLexity are there. That's Sven just walking right in with that God Strength, man. They just don't have any way of killing off these heroes. Again, you land the Ice Blast like that, with the Dragon Tail initiation onto a Weaver, which otherwise would have been blocked by Lincoln Sphere if he had one. There is just not much you could do about that as Weaver, except for not be there in the first place. Definitely do think that was a little bit aggressive for OpTic to try to sneak that. I mean, their Roche power isn't non-existent, but definitely seems like they need to take a pick off beforehand.
Radiant's middle tower
Like that. So as far as right now, still a very teleport straight out and join the team pushing. Nature's Prophet, he's dead. Chessie's gonna hit him once for the can only earn that one. Tower down. These treants from Zai aren't even gonna be dragging off any aggro, so they'll just keep pushing.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under
And the
attack.
push is going to be very intense.
Bottom tower is under attack.
There is a little bit of split push going on elsewhere. CCNC. Did that creep die before the toss did damage? It looked like it.
Has fallen.
They're trying to split push as best they can, but racing in this scenario is just non-existent, and now the Disruptor is going to get caught. They are looking to race, though, for Rax, but up against this God Strength from Jessie, going to find the Tiny with the Dust, so Shadow Blade, kind of a dead item there. And will fall on top lane. Radiance on the Batten.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
What have we here?
Key out the damage from Jessie. It's quite a... Magnetizes there. Zai does have a TP. And yeah, for the mid lane for real. Still with this Aegis, jump straight in once again. It's the DK starting the fight. As OpTic, where is the Tiny? He's supposed to be starting the fights for them. CCNC is going to get the Avalanche toss onto this Sven, do quite a bit of damage, but now the Nova lands pretty much onto everyone. Static Storm is doomed to shatter. The rest of the team focusing onto that tier 3, onto the Aegis. They're trying to focus him with everything they got. They're taking a lot of damage, though, thanks to that cleave. They'll still get the kill. They TP'd out. Hit track will leave as well. Thing is, they're barely coming back into these fights. Like, they are doing an OpTic. They can't really afford to out-split push them. As we... He's going to start channeling up that Meteor Hammer. That do not have an Abaddon in the area, though he does have the travels. At this point, though, Beggar's Choosers. Bit too. This Weaver has some of these really heavy hitters for complexity. Synergizing with the kick, and now he's hit with that Magnetize. Moo's going to... Sure, but really he can get whatever he wants. Heart's still going to give him a hell of a lot. And they're still OpTic just trying to split push this out. It's too late to try to split push. They could try. They will take a set of racks. Good even trade, and looks like they will all start to fall out, which they don't try to do. They'll just walk out. Tier 2 find this Tiny. Even as a BKB, he'll limp, look to chase forward for a little bit more. Zai's gonna keep limp. The double kill for this Venomancer. Even Mixcane Pike. There's so many relevant right-clicking. But BKB's this just general durability of having a 20 damage output with their current setup of heroes. He does have a gem. He's chasing after the buff. And it's probably like completely smooth and no items that would help him here. Roll in. The damage from Magnetize is not enough. And the Boulder Smash not really going to do anything relevant damage-wise. Maybe slow down complexity by just a touch. It's still complexity with all this momentum. Just wait a minute for this. Trying his best to split push. 33 doing the exact same thing. But split push only works if you can keep yourself safe. I feel like if he gets off one, and now he's going to look to come back in along with Nick. And that'll be a 4 kill. They do finally take out HP thanks to that heart. And the Venomancer, he's coming back in towards this bottom lane as well. That is some way of clearing a creep wave. They need everyone to be alive right now, because once these Plague Wards get set up, they'll actually make the really, really conservative play complexity and fall back. That's how you get around. That's how Earth Spirit roll. That normally happens. This is really a... for OpTic, they have a Static Storm for this type of fight. CCNC is just going to go the classic walk in and try to initiate that way style. Not really. Then Cheese is floating around on someone. He get caught with the Dragon Tail. He does have some time to cat. He's gonna time lapse back and get himself back up to full HP, trying to Shikuchi away. Z-Freak is on the trail. Will be a Rax taken. In fact, Z-Freak's putting up a really good fight up again. I have to try to juke out from the slow rolls. Here he comes. It doesn't really matter what goes on in the background because Chessie's still running around, Moo's still running around. They will take down the Aegis, but they're running out of heroes at this point. Moo is still holding strong right now, 2,000 HP left, and Chessie is back with another God Strength, straight onto 33, missing a handful of attacks there, but you can't miss them all. And with Mega starting to flood the base, it looks like OpTic will let me restart my internet sooner rather than, or complexity rather. We'll end the game so that I can restart my internet. Thank you, Complexity, for doing this for all of our viewers. And CCNC, the chill effect is on him, the God Strength is up still, and he will get back to the base. He has quite a bit of armor, actually. Get that Meteor Hammer, get the Avalanche, toss him back into the fountain. Is that enough to get the kill? Oh, it's a lot of damage. It is enough. Yes, they got Moo. But now they have to deal with Megas. So, good luck.
Middle tower has fallen.
It will fall back, and the scary thing is that Complexity don't even have full 6 slots yet. Like, they're incredibly mega farmed. And GG is called. Yeah, they know it's pointless. Alright, look at this. My internet's coming back.
Dire victory.
Why? I don't understand. My internet is fixing itself. God damn it. I'm pissed off, guys. At least we get a 3rd game, so I don't just end it on this shitty note. But, yeah, Complexity win. I think I'm going to have to go and restart my... I'm definitely restarting the stream, definitely restarting the internet. I have no idea what's causing this. I'm literally the only one in this building right now.